Zawe. So in today's video, we are going to be focusing on the grammar from stage 6 in the Red Book of the Cambridge Latin series. So you can find this information out on page 93 in the paper copy. All right, it's the About the Language section. So in this chapter, we have been introduced to a new form of the verb, all right? So up until this point, we've seen things like laborat, or laborant. So he works or they work, all right? But now we're starting to be introduced into the way the Romans did their past tense, all right? So the first thing you need to know is how to get to the stem of a verb from this form. And it's really simple. You simply remove the ending, the T or the NT, all right? Now, when you've removed those T's and NT's, you can add certain indicators to change the tense. You still have this stem, but you have to add in these other extra letters. It's kind of like in English how we add helping verbs to our main verb to kind of change the tense. So I am walking to I was walking or I walked, all right? So in Latin, when we want to say I was doing something, we add the BA, all right? And then you put back on your ending. So this would be translated as he was walking, or excuse me, working. So laborabat, as opposed to this, which was he is working. All right. This BA is always the sign of, always going to have a was or sometimes a were. All right. If we had NT, it would be they were working. And that, of course, would look like this. All right, so this BA is the sign of was or were, all right? And we call that in Latin the imperfect tense. It's the tense that shows something's happening in the past, but it hasn't been completed. When we talk about he was working, we don't know when he finished working. We just know he was working in the past. The other tense that we have adds in a different letter. So we have our same stem. But now we add the V, all right? And this V would be translated as an ED in English. So he worked, all right? Or if we have the plural, V-E-R-U-N-T. So a little bit different with our, before our NT, we have these extra vowels, but the V is still, or these extra letters, but the V is still present in both. That would be they worked. All right? And this tense shows a completed action, all right? And that's why we call it the perfect tense. And if it wasn't obvious before, the tense that we had only learned up till through stage 5 was the present tense, okay? So these are our 3 tenses. Now, present we've been learning about already. Imperfect, it just always has that BA, no matter what. Perfect, we're gonna start with the V's because they are the most common. But in stage 7, we'll be introduced to some different stems in the perfect tense. But for right now, for stage 6, I want you to make sure you memorize that V is the most common indicator of the perfect tense, all right? Thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or ask them to me in class. Wale.